Now, over the years, the joint ownership arrangement has been characterized by government or management challenges affecting the appointment of vice chancellors and other principal officers, and occasionally problems started to show, especially problems to do with irregular payment of staff salaries. There were times, I think, when for over a year the staff were not paid salaries in that university. And it is very sad because, as I said earlier, LAUTECH Akintola University was conceived with the best of intentions, and it was designed to be one of Nigeria's best universities of technology. So in September 2010, that is about 10 years ago, when it became obvious that the joint ownership of the institution was an issue, actually a problem. And in an attempt to resolve these challenges and restore normalcy to enable the university focus on the achievement of its mission, the National Universities Commission then constituted a transition committee to oversee the affairs of the institution for 3 months. Although the transition committee's report contained some far-reaching recommendations on the resolution of the crisis, including a legal framework for the sharing of assets and liabilities by the two owner states of Oyo and Osun, the dissolution of the joint ownership arrangement was not implemented. Consequently, the crisis in LAUTECH continued unabated, with the concomitant erosion of its reputational capital and loss of institutional goodwill. Now, I'm sure you all know what a loss will be for institutions like universities to lose their reputation. It's just like a media house. Reputation is about the most important capital a university will have. If the reputation is terrible, then so this good university started to be perceived differently. In response to renewed appeals and calls by various stakeholders for further intervention by the National Universities Commission, including a meeting with the governor of Oyo State, a tripartite committee comprising representatives of Osun and Oyo States was constituted here actually by me, and with the Deputy Executive Secretary Academics, Dr. Ramon Yusuf, as chairman of this tripartite committee. And this committee was constituted to interface with stakeholders towards finding a lasting solution to the seemingly intractable crisis. Now, in spite of the corona problems, the tripartite committee commenced its assignments in March, just on the eve of the lockdown of this country. It paid courtesy visits and held extensive meetings and interactions with the governors of Osun and Oyo states and other stakeholders, including the management and staff of the institution, as well as staff unions and students. The committee also received written memoranda or position papers from the university management, staff unions, and the governments of Oyo and Osun states. In a bid to achieve an equitable and mutually agreeable dissolution of the joint ownership of LAUTECH by Osun and Oyo states, in the overall interest of the university and in consonance with the stipulations of the legal framework which had been adopted by both states, the tripartite committee undertook critical activities namely, 1, re-evaluation and updating of the assets and liabilities of the university by relevant professionals from Oyo and Osun states in order to ascertain their current values and determine who among the states should have what. The committee also commissioned a forensic audit of the university, the main university in Ogbomoso, as well as the University Teaching Hospital in Osogbo. The audit was to look at the entire assets and liabilities, as well as other financial issues from inception of the university 30 years ago to date by the famous and renowned audit firm LAUTECH. Number 3, delineation of assets and liabilities for sharing by the two owners of Oyo and Osun states was recommended by this audit firm. Then submission of reports of the updated valuation of assets and liabilities and the forensic audit was followed by close study and extensive deliberations amongst the tripartite committee members and relevant professionals, which culminated in a negotiation retreat. Now, this retreat took place last week. Yeah. Actually, the 3 key staff of this commission, under the leadership of the Deputy Executive Secretary, who is the chairman of the tripartite committee, had to relocate to Lagos for about 9 days, where they had a retreat, met with the high-powered representatives of both Oyo and Osun, including a deputy governor, commissioners of justice, education, and others. So, and the management of the university, the board, and the council and management of the universities, and so on. So, they went, and the retreat was concluded, I think, last week, Friday, on the 12th, and you returned here on the 13th. The high-powered negotiation retreat on the sharing of the assets and liabilities, as I said, was held in Lagos from Monday to Friday in November, with top-ranking officials of both states, as I say, including Deputy Governor in attendance. It is gratifying to note that after extensive deliberations, negotiations, and consultations, both owner states mutually agreed terms and joint ownership of LAUTECH was formally dissolved. In other words, both Oyo and Osun, after this extensive 1-week negotiation, building on the previous efforts since March this year, which itself was also built on the earlier report of 10 years ago, all this came into play. And the marriage between Oyo and Osun to the same woman, the LAUTECH, was formally dissolved.